Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Paul Reed and I'm a professional photographer. So firstly, I was in the Leica store in London and I treated myself. I treated myself to a Leica M240. Now, anybody that knows my journey knows that I switched from a Q2 Monochrom to an M10 Monochrome, and for about 6 months and it didn't quite work out because I needed that Q2 Monochrome for that everyday photography. I wasn't gelling with the M10 Monochrome as an everyday camera. This M240 was a lot cheaper than the M10 Monochrome, and I thought if I could pick this up at a cheap price, then that's great because I can have this alongside the Q2 Monochrome. And so don't worry, I'm not switching to M again. I just thought it'd be nice sometimes to shoot with a different focal length, and also maybe, who knows, I might even want to shoot colour at some point. But here's some portraits I took with this M240 along with an old 50mm f2 Summicron. So I love the look of those photos, and I love the look of that old 50mm Summicron, and it just gives me another option. And rather than, you know, spending loads of money, I can't justify having two expensive Leicas. So this was just at a really good price point. You can get these for, you know, the first M240, you can get them round about the £2,000 mark, sometimes less as well. And because this one had been serviced and everything off Leica, I just thought, you know what, it was a good price, and I thought I'll pick it up. A lot of people complain, they think because this is a bit thicker than some of the other M digital cameras, but for me, moving from the Q2 Monochrome to this and back again, it really isn't that much different from the Q2 Monochrome in size. And you know, it's a little bit heavier because all this is brass, the top's brass, the bottom's brass, but us Leica lovers do love a bit of brassing on the top there. So loving this camera. I realised that batteries are a problem for the M240. I managed to get a spare, and it's not that they don't make the batteries anymore, it's just that they make them in batches. Leica make them in batches, so then you've got to join a waiting list if you want a spare battery. The batteries do last forever on these though, providing you're not being silly and using the live view. So, you know, you can make do with one battery for a while and then just get yourself on the waiting list. Me, I picked one up used, and you know, it was about £45 or something for the battery. A lot of people are selling those batteries on eBay for like £1,000 and stupid things like that, but just find somebody that isn't being silly with the prices of the batteries and you will get hold of one. I also took a portrait with the Q2 Monochrome because I had that with me as well, and it was a portrait where I knew the lighting was a kind of tricky lighting situation. This lady, I could see that this backlight was there and I moved it into that backlight, so it was quite a tricky lighting situation. I wanted really to enhance her hair because I loved her hair. So let's talk Leica Master Shots. What are they and how do you get them? So LFI is like the creative arm of Leica, and you can submit your photographs for free to LFI, and whenever you submit them to a gallery there, you can just tick on the box to submit it as a Leica Master Shot, and the people there will have a look through all of those, and some of them they select as Leica Master Shots. If they don't get a Leica Master Shot, that isn't the end of the story, because sometimes they will just put it into one of those galleries under a category such as portraits or street photography. Even that is an achievement on its own. Now these things, whilst, you know, we think, well, it doesn't mean anything, but it's just those little bits of encouragement, and especially off Leica, that I think is important to us sometimes as photographers. Sometimes we just want to know that we're on the right tracks, and it's nice just to receive a little bit of encouragement. Here's some of my favourite images that got Leica Master Shot awards. before I show you how to submit your images to LFI, I just want to let you know that my Monochrome Moments book is pretty much almost sold out. There's not that many copies of this left. This is a thick book full of my street photography from over the last 4 years, and you know, I'm really proud of this book. They're signed and numbered, but there's not that many left. My book Monochrome Portraits is sold out, so you can't get that anymore, but there are still some left of this. What I'm even more excited about is that I've got a handbook coming out called Monochrome Madness, and this is a handbook that you're going to want to carry about in your camera bag. This is a book that's not going to be just full of images, but it's going to have my settings in, and it's going to have my thinking behind some of those images. There's going to be street portraits, street photography, and also conceptual fine art photography, and just lots of hints and tips in there, and there's going to be lots of writing in that book, as well as the images, lots of encouragement. This is going to be something that you're going to want to get out your camera bag whenever you're feeling that you may be getting to a sticking point, and it's going to be a book that's going to really drive you forward as a photographer. It's A5 size, but it's going to be really thick, and this is something that I'm so excited. You can pre-order the Monochrome Madness Handbook now. I'm going to leave a link in the description for that. Now, on to the Master Shots. So the first thing that you're going to want to do if you want to be considered to have a Leica Master Shot award is you're going to have to sign up to the LFI Gallery, and that's really easy to do, and it's free. So you just go over onto their website and then sign up for free. The next thing that you're going to need to do is just create a little album, create a folder, and just name it whatever you want to name it. And this is going to be the folder that you're going to upload your photographs to, and that's where you're going to submit your photographs to the LFI Gallery. So I'm going to just do this on my phone and show you quickly how you upload a photo. So here I've uploaded a photograph. So you're going to want to put a title, and you're going to want to put the location, and then put some tags in there. I'm not even sure how those tags work or if they mean anything. Put a little bit of an image description there, and then on the part where it says album, you're going to have an inbox, and you're going to have, you know, your new album. You want to be put it into your new album. You get to then choose what camera that you were using. Mine's a Q2 Monochrom, and that automatically selects the lens for mine. If it's an M mount or anything else, you're going to have to tell it. I normally put in here just edited in Lightroom. Okay, right, that's not spelled right, so hold on a second. Edited in Lightroom, and then you just click on the bit that says Leica Master Shot or selection. Agree the terms and conditions, and then save and close, and then that's it done. So once that's off to LFI, then you know there's not a lot else you can do at that point. They don't ever give you any feedback, so if you're unsuccessful, you'll never know about it. You just have to wait. I normally think, you know, if a week has gone by, it's unlikely that your photograph has been selected. That means even selected for one of their galleries under a category. So sometimes you might get one, like I say, that might go into the portrait gallery, or it might go into the street photography gallery or landscape, whatever it is. This is like a big achievement. But sometimes, if you're really lucky, then your photograph will be selected as a master shot. And that's kind of like, almost like the pinnacle. The other one that you can get is picture of the week, which I think, you know, that's even, it's unlikely that it's not already received a master shot if it gets picture of the week. So, you know, as you've seen, I've got a bunch of these things, and I guess what's the point in this? You know, I mean, it's just somebody saying your photographs are good. Apart from that encouragement that I speak of, which is important, I think, to us all as photographers, if you want your work to be seen, then all of these things help. I've had photographs printed in the LFI magazine simply because they've found those photographs in the gallery. I've even had photographs printed which weren't necessarily master shots, they were just in my gallery. And you know, I love having my photographs printed in any form, but when it's printed in a magazine, it just really encourages me whenever that happens. So that's, you know, that's one reason. The other thing as well is other people are looking at these things as well. So I don't know sometimes if I would have been published in other magazines if they hadn't seen my work in the LFI gallery or hadn't seen those photographs printed in the LFI magazine. I think all these things really help, and my reasoning behind the whole thing is just to get my work seen, just to get that work out there, because when I'm proud of a photograph, I want the world to see it. Look, if your photograph doesn't get selected, then don't be too discouraged with that. It is quite hard to get your work into the LFI gallery. I'm sure they get lots and lots of images every day, and sometimes maybe they just missed it. One thing that you can do is, you know, after a week, you can go back into that photograph again if you click on the edit button, and you can resubmit it again. And you can do that, I think it's up to 4 times. So if you really believe in one of your photographs, then by all means resubmit it again. If it still doesn't get a Master Shot award or into one of their galleries, then just move on to another photograph and submit that. It doesn't mean to say that that photograph that you submitted is rubbish. I've had a lot of disappointment where I've thought, gee whiz, this is a master shot, I can't wait to send this to Leica, and I send it and then there's just radio silence because you get no feedback and no comments from them whatsoever unless it actually goes into their gallery. If you're always submitting on a Monday, then maybe try the next time to submit on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or whatever day, a different day, because you never know, one of those days may be busier than another. Maybe a Monday is busy because of all the photographs that have been received over the weekend, so maybe Monday is a bad day to submit because there's so many photographs that they've got to go through. I don't know all the facts behind this. I'm just telling you the things that I do. So sometimes I will submit on a different day and maybe get some success that way. If you do get in the gallery or you do get a master shot, then hey, shout about it. Put it on your Instagram, put it in your stories, and thank LFI for the Master Shot award, or thank them for putting your photograph in their gallery. I think these things, these achievements, you should be shouting about them because they're your achievements, and it's really nice to let other people know that your photographs have been selected like that. You've got nothing to lose by submitting your work to LFI. I know a lot of different competitions charge an amount per entry, but this is absolutely free. So you may as well do it, and it will give you just that little bit of encouragement sometimes. Thanks everybody for watching today. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for everybody that's subscribed. If you haven't subscribed already, then subscribe. Hit that little bell as well so that you get notified whenever I do videos. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time.